Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to the FEG PC Truck Series today. We're at the virtual Richmond Raceway. We're going to go 100 laps around the 3/4 mile, kind of called an egg-shaped oval. But as always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East in the booth, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. It is great to be back out here with the friends as we head out for single car qualifying. And we're going to quickly take a look at what may be the story of the night. Jose Medina in the number 28 Toyota Tundra. Jose normally races in a full motion sim racing rig. Actually had a bit of a power outage, a brownout if you will, and it has actually burnt up his full motion rig. So Jose today is kind of driving a little bit slanted than what he's normally to. The sim rig leaning and listing in one direction. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jose Medina can do out there today, number 28. We saw him have a little bit of a contact to the wall, so he's not able to improve on his 22.82 lap time. That is good enough for a provisional 13th in qualifying. And we've also got fan favorite Jay Dargert out on track, number 57 machine, clicking off a 22.18 in his opening lap. But Cody Mccauley, he was the fastest truck in practice, and right now he is sitting on top of provisional pole with a 21.93. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a wild one here today. One of the biggest grids we've seen so far this season. With, I believe, it's expected to be about 30 drivers making their way out here today. Dargert's going to bring it in after qualifying provisional 7th. And let's see who else is out on track. We can take a look at Michael J. Johnson, number 39 machine's going out for his opening laps. Sporting a newer paint scheme this season. Let's see what he can do on his flying laps here today. Now, something I haven't been able to quite notice yet is to see what the fastest lap times is. Is it the fastest first lap that these guys are putting down, or are they able to put down a little bit better their second time out? In practice, some of the drivers were saying about their 5th, 6th lap is actually when they felt the fastest on these fixed setups. But Johnson feeling pretty good his opening lap with a 22.04. He's still about a 10th off of Cody Mccauley. Let's see if he can find some more speed here today. And he does click off a 22.10 that last time by, so his opening lap was his fastest. Matt Lee's out on track as well in the 04 Toyota Tundra. Lee's opening lap a 22.61. He's going to be somebody to keep an eye on. A driver that is used to long runs and able to keep that tire wear underneath them for the entire duration of the event. But with the start of segment 3, we've got a lot more new names and faces, a lot of fast and talented drivers coming out to the FEG PC Truck Series. And Matt Lee, the 04 machine, is going to have to settle for 11th here today. Kenneth Mccauley Jr. moves his way up into 9th in qualifying in the 03 machine. With a 22.17 his opening lap, and just like that, hucks it sideways. He will not improve going sideways, so a 22.17 is going to be the best that McCall is able to put down. And we've only got about 4 drivers that have not put down times yet. John Olette, William Lothar, Matthew Carreria, CJ Mason not putting down times yet. I don't think they're going to be able to by the time the single car qualifying session comes to an end. And they are not, as we're going to end qualifying. We've got 26 drivers that put down times out of the 30 that have entered tonight's event. But we're going to get ready to grid them up. And then we're going to go racing here at Richmond Raceway. Let's take a look at tonight's grid. Starting on pole, Cody Mccauley, number 62. Michael J. Johnson will be starting 2nd. Tristan Bailey starting 3rd. Brad Herman starting 4th. We've got Adam Schoen starting 5th, Austin Reedy starting 6th, Cale Seaman starting 7th, Stephen Page will be starting 8th on tonight's grid, Kenneth will be starting 9th, Jay Dargert, the fan favorite, starting 10th, Matt Lee in the 04 starting 11th, Eric Parks will be starting 12th here today, Brad Bothwell starting 13th, Jeffrey Radke starting 14th, Christopher Carter will be starting 15th, James Kaufman 16th, Michael Newbrough starting 17th. Brandon Barber starting 18th. John Mullihan starting 19th. Tyler Millette starting 20th. Joe Burgess starting 21st. Martin starting 22nd. Travis Anderson starting 23rd. Chad Ross starting 24th. Cycle it back once more. Then we've got Jose Medina starting 25th. Buddy Pitt starting 26th. John Olette starting 27th. William Lothar, the fast Canadian, starting 28th. Matthew Carrera starting 29th. And then CJ Mason in the number 55 machine will round out our 30 truck field here today. That is quite the healthy grid for 100 laps here at Richmond. As always, thank you so much to our fans, friends, and family from across the world that tune in each and every week, supporting their favorite drivers at their favorite series, as well as supporting your favorite broadcaster. We couldn't do it without you guys, and our racers absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Just about all of these guys go back and they watch the broadcast week in and week out to see where they could have improved, or maybe make a note of something that maybe spectacular happened in their race. And I guarantee you, they see the guys that are cheering them on in the chat, and they are oh so appreciative. As we've got about 4 drivers not making it to the grid. Kevin Mccauley Jr., Brad Bothwell, CJ Mason, Matthew Carrera unable to make it out on tonight's grid. But look at that, 30 trucks getting ready to do battle. And I've got to say, it's good to be back in the booth with my FEG PC family. We were off last week with a little bit of the coronavirus, so back in the booth feeling relatively good today. Got the push to mute ready and a handful of cough drops, so we're ready to get this party started. As we look at Cody Mccauley and Michael J. Johnson, your front row. They'll be waiting for that iRacing pace car to make its way in, and then we're going to get this race going at Richmond. Pace car will be making its way in this time by. And then we're going to put our flag man into work and get this thing started. Not quite sure what we're going to see here. Drivers said they have about 10 to 15 good hard laps to push really aggressively. Pace car is in. Away we go. Cody Mccauley, Michael J. Johnson, your front row. The green flag will fly here at Richmond. Who's going to be patient and who's going to send it a little bit early here, as the back of the pack is going to get very exciting very quickly. Everybody jockeying for position. They're 2, 3 wide. Mccauley still out front. Johnson second. Bailey third. Herman fourth. Schoen is then fifth. So talking to the drivers, what the general sentiment is, if they can make it 10, 15 laps for the tires to be good and start to tighten up, then you'll start to see things kind of, I don't want to say slow down, but the tempo of the race will kind of back down just ever so slightly. Cody Mccauley, your race leader, puts down the fastest lap of the race. You're on board with number 62 machine, puts off a 22.09. He is out front. He's got some clean air and not a whole lot of worries here, as it looks like it's just Michael J. Johnson, about 0.6 of a second off from Mccauley running in second. Then you've got about a second back to Tristan Bailey, who's got his hands full with Brad Herman, Austin Reedy, Adam Schoen, Matt Lee, all in the mix here. Lee did not have the qualifying that he wanted in the 04 machine, but he is a very talented long run racer. So we'll have to keep an eye on the field and see what happens here, as, oh no, there may be trouble already. William Lothar, Travis Anderson, Buddy Pitts, all involved in some incidents here today. Let's take a look. We're watching Lothar, the number 47 machine. Where does it go wrong? Oh, and just ahead of Lothar, He gets absolutely collected. We're going to watch that one from one other angle. So that was Lothar, Anderson, and Pitt's all involved, and that would bring out the first caution of the night. Lothar is the number 47. You watch the number 48, 66, and 29 all get together here. And oh, what a absolutely hard hit. That was Buddy Pitts, number 29, who got absolutely airborne there. We're watching intently the number 29. Just crosses the track, nowhere to go. But look at this absolute airtime that Pitts gets in the number 29. And he will have to bring it back to the hauler, try and get some repairs done. But that will bring out the very first caution of the night. We've got Mullahan getting some shout out and love from the spectators here today in Richmond, as well as Tyler. Tyler Mollett, he's the number 27 machine. He is still 20th on track. Has not moved up many spots, but he also hasn't went backwards yet, and that's pretty important. Current hard charger on tracks, gotta be John Olett and the number 062 machine. Olett started off in 27th tonight. He's worked his way up to 15th early on. That makes it actually two 62 machines out there today. You got Cody Mccauley running the 62, and Olett on live time and scoring shows his number as the 062, but it is painted as just a 62. So that might be a little bit confusing later on. We're going to get ready to re-rack them, send them back out. So over 30 drivers have entered. Two drivers never made it out on track. That's Matthew Carreria and CJ Mason. Everyone else was able to get started and get back out there. But William Lothar still in pit lane trying to get that race machine hammered back into shape. As we're going to get them formed up, double file. And away we go for the first restart of the night. It is once again Mccauley and Johnson out front. Let's see if the field's going to be able to calm down, hop into a groove, and then maybe get into a rhythm. Now, this is always tough for the racers, especially those guys that are set up for long-run racing and planning on those long runs, keeping tire wear at the forefront of their mind. A fuel window is about 55 to 60 laps for these competitors here today. So It'll be interesting to see if we do get that green flag run that we're all looking for, how long the drivers opt to stay out for, or if they're still going to come in around that halfway mark to grab 4 fresh Goodyears and a tank of gas. Lothar makes his way back out of the pits after some lengthy repairs. It's still Mccauley, Johnson, Bailey, Herman, Reedy. Your top 5 here today. As Matt Lee is poking and prodding his way up the lineup as well. It looks to me that maybe the field's calmed down just ever so slightly. So by about lap 20, accounting for those caution laps that we had here today, is when you're going to see drivers really not able to make the big moves that they want to. I think it's going to be these little short restart we get tonight that's going to allow things to maybe shake up. Guys are going to push hard and push early, but maybe now as the tire wear is going to start to come in for these guys, he's going to calm down. Cody Mccauley still out front. He's got about a 0.3 second advantage over Michael J. Johnson. Johnson keeping him right in tow. And then about a second and a half back, you've got the rest of the pack led by Tristan Bailey with Herman, Reedy, Lee all in tow. Now Mccauley and Johnson, no strangers to running up front. Very experienced iRacers and sim racing enthusiasts in their own right. So anybody else can kind of question, are they pushing a little bit too hard, too early, and maybe burning up some tires? But these guys know what it takes. They want to get out front, and they want to avoid whatever carnage may happen behind them. William Lothar drops down the inside of the racetrack, allowing the race leaders to make their way by nice and clean. Lothar is one of those guys that's going to be out here for points at this point. Not trying to prove anything with a damaged truck, just trying to salvage a bit of a leak. Here comes Matt Lee looking at the inside of Austin Reedy. Lee's on the inside line, the 04. Reedy's on the high line in the 1-1 machine, the number 11. Can he make it stick here at Richmond, or is he going to burn up a little bit more tire than he really wants to, run that inside groove, not able to drift up the racetrack? And he does pick up another spot, moving his way up into 5th in the 04 machine. Like a little bit further back in the field, you got John Olett in 062. He's up 16 spots so far, has worked his way up into 11th early on. He's currently trying to chase down fan favorite Jay Darter at number 57 machine to work his way inside the top 10 here. You're all on board with Michael J. Johnson, currently in 2nd place on track, chasing Cody Mccauley. Still about 0.4 of a second back from your race leader, but not having to push too hard too early here. They've worked their way up to about a 2-second advantage over 3rd place Tristan Bailey. And this is where the tire wear portion of the race may come into play for these guys. They know on fuel they can stretch it out to about the lap 60 mark, is what we've been hearing from our drivers earlier on in the haulers. As I believe that may have been Buddy Pitts, number 29 machine. You just saw our race leaders navigate through. Buddy, again, the driver that got completely airborne in that first caution of the night. Now, hopefully I don't jinx it with the old commentator's curse here, but the guys seem to be getting along pretty quickly, not having too many issues once they're finally able to get into that groove. As now Matt Lee trying to work on Brad Herman's number 85 Chevrolet. This is the battle for fourth on screen right now. Out of 28 drivers that started, we still have one driver in the pits with Travis Anderson, but everybody else has been able to get back out on track. I believe William Lothar may have retired here today, the fast Canadian and the number 47 machine. Now, is Lee going to be able to make a move here on Herman at this point in the run as the tire wear is going to start to fall off already? 30 laps into our feature event, and already the times are about 1 second off their fastest lap times. Looks to me like Brad Herman's also catching up to Tristan Bailey. Bailey's the number 24 Chevrolet and currently running third on track. So this may be a three-truck battle for a podium spot here early on into the first fuel run of our competitors. Got some more fans tuning in today. It's Derek Meek cheering on Tyler, I believe, Millette. We'll have to get confirmation on that one from the fans. Up front, it is still Cody Mccauley show in the number 62. He's got about a 1 second advantage over Michael J. Johnson. Further back in the field, you got Christopher Carter in the number 21 machine. He's getting pushed by Cale Seaman in the number 17 Toyota. John Mullihan also getting a whole lot of love from the spectators here today. John's currently running 18th on track, up one spot. Now, for those of us that have joined for the first time to spectate one of the FEG PC events, especially the truck series we run on Mondays, what people at home don't always realize is just how stacked this field is. If you were joining an iRacing public lobby, these, by the numbers that these guys have as far as skill-wise, this would be one of the higher-ranked lobbies you could possibly be in. So for some of these guys that are out here, maybe join us for the first time for FEG PC in any of their series, to be able to run a top 10, a top 15 is an accomplishment in itself for some of these guys. As old Buddy Pitts is getting swallowed up by the field here, able to drift high and stay safe. And the caution will fly once more. I know Brandon Barber's involved with that one. We're going to see who else may be. And I think I know what's about to happen. Yes, lap traffic comes into play. Barber, number 30 machine, gets involved. As well as I believe it was Martin in the number 67. We'll watch that one from one other angle here. So Barber shows as the number 30, but his truck shows as a 66. Probably not running the right transponder here today. And just 3 drivers. It's hard to tell. I'm not sure if he got into the 67 of Martin or if Martin started getting loose and then Barber had nowhere to go there. It's a tough one to call. As the field scatters behind, you see Matt Lee gets hard on the brakes to avoid getting into the traffic. And that is going to initiate our first pit stop of the night. As we take a bird's eye view of our FEG PC.net backed drone camera, tonight's title sponsor. So we're going to get ready to re-rack them out here and send them back out on their way. It's still going to be Mccauley and Johnson up front. I believe pretty much everybody in the field here is going to take 4 fresh Goodyears and a tank of gas. Now, with that pit stop, hypothetically, we can go all the way to the checkered flag under green flag conditions and not need to see another stop here, a required stop due to fuel. Tyler Millette getting a whole lot of love from the fans. He's currently 19th on track. I'm not sure what happened to Jay Dargert in the number 57 machine as he is bumped all the way back to 21st. Not sure if he had a problem or what may have happened. We're going to get ready for that pace car to come in this time by. And away they go like a rocket ship. Mccauley gets a great launch. Michael J. Johnson follows along still in second. Tristan Bailey third. Herman fourth. Matt Lee fifth. Other than that, the top 5 has not really shaken around much. But cautions breed cautions. Now that these guys are coming out with fresh tires, they know they've got another 15 laps of raw speed at their ability. That's when things can get a little bit exciting for these competitors. And just like that, the caution comes out. As Tristan Bailey shows involved, Stephen Page shows involved. Let's check on Bailey first. Bailey's in the number 24 machine. And I'm not sure if he got helped around there or what may have happened. We're going to take one more look at that one. I think Stephen Page just ever so slightly bumped him. I think Page may have come down there. Excuse me, Bailey may have come down. Oh! What was that? We got to watch that one once more, ladies and gentlemen. That was spectacular. Was that Jose Medina? That may have been Jose. I think it was. The lovable Tecate sponsored number 24 machine sends it to absolute orbit. So you had one truck whip it around to try and get pointed back in the direction. I believe that was number 12 machine we saw whip it back around. Jose comes around the racetrack, not quite sure that there's going to be a car there. And look at this. Absolutely launches it. We have liftoff, ladies and gentlemen. Jose Medina with the hang time of the night. If his motion rig wasn't working before tonight's race, he may have just jump-started the good old-fashioned way, as he has absolutely sent that Toyota Tundra all the way up through the air. That'll bring out our third caution of the night. As I am still in disbelief over that crash. That was absolutely something. We're going to try and re-rack them. Pace car should be in this time by. As we are at the halfway mark of the evening. Pace car is in. Mccauley mashes the loud pedal. Johnson stays in tow. Away we go. Now look at this, Matt Lee, it looks like he's worked his way up to third following that restart. Able to be a little bit happy with the restart game that he's been able to play here today, as he's side by side with Brad Herman and the number 85 machine crossing the start-finish line. Lee's going to be able to carry maybe a little bit faster line out of the corners. Not being stuck down on that bottom groove like Herman is. John Olette also takes advantage of it in the number 62 machine. The 062 machine, I should say. Now Brad Herman's going to be side by side with John Olette, Austin Reedy, Adam Schoen, all in the mix here. Up front, Cody Mccauley, your race leader, clicks off another fastest lap of the race with a 22:07. somebody gets a little bit wiggly back there. Right now you're watching the battle for fourth on track between Brad Herman and John Olette. You've also got Austin Reedy in the number 11 machine. He's looking up the inside line of Olette, trying to pick up another spot here. Now Olette, he's up 21 positions here today. So the fact that he's worked his way up into sixth is extremely impressive. He's having a great run so far. Christopher Carter may have been involved in an incident. Not sure if the caution's going to fly here or not, or if he's going to be able to get the machine safely off the racetrack. It looks like we're going to keep it clean and green here at Richmond, at least for a little while longer. Up front, it's Mccauley, Johnson, Lee, Herman, Reedy, your top five here today. But there's great action all across the circuit. Everybody's pushing hard, trying to find a couple more spots when the opportunity presents itself. Couple of notable points of entry here. Kenneth Mccauley Jr., he did not start on the grid on time. He's worked his way up to 11th. Jay Dargan's back up to 14th. Tyler Millette has moved up to 17th, up 3 spots. Looks like this battle has maybe calmed down ever so slightly. Up front, Cody Mccauley still clicking him off. He's got about a 1.3 second advantage over Michael J. Johnson. And Johnson's got a whole lot of pressure with Matt Lee, as once again Reedy and Herman are going side by side. Looks like Reedy is going to take the spot over from the number 85, Brad Herman. So project his number 11 Chevrolet up into fourth. Reedy is currently up 2 spots. Herman's down 1 spot from where he started. Kenneth Mccauley Jr. in the 03 machine. He's worked his way up into 10th after having a rough start to tonight's race. He's currently chasing Eric Parks. Parks is in the Ford F-150. This is the battle for 9th on screen, but look how packed this field is. Everyone's trying to find a place to grab a spot when they can. It's tough to navigate all the traffic here today. And this is a massive grid, about 30 entries into tonight's race. Chad Ross picks up a position from Adam Schoen, works his way up into 11th, but he's got a lot of company as he's still side by side with Schoen. He's also got Bothwell and Jay Darger right behind him as well. As they go side by side, 2 rows deep, it's Chad Ross, Adam Schoen in the front row, Bothwell and Darger in the second row. And this is what we were talking about earlier in the broadcast. With such a stacked field, you'll have battles all across the racetrack. Even if it's not for first, you can very often find yourself battling for that 15, 16 spot with guys that are very similar pace and ability as yourself. A lot of good, clean racing, as it looks like Adam Schoen's going to get around the outside of Chad Ross. And now Bothwell's going to try and capitalize as well. McCullough has moved his way up into 9th, getting around Eric Parks. Now he's trying to catch up to Jeffrey Radke's number 51 machine. And it looks like McCullough is charging hard here today, up 1 more spot into 8th. I've got to wonder, with only about 31 laps remaining, is anybody worried about tire wear? Are they just pushing as hard as they possibly can, trying to get that track position in case the caution does come out for another round? There are no stage breaks here at the FEG PC Truck Series. Jay Darter goes side by side with Adam Schoen. This is the battle for 12th on screen. It's like a little bit further back, you got Adam Schoen, or excuse me, John Mollahan in the number 26 machine. He's up 5 spots, currently running 14th on track. You've also got Tyler Millett, who's getting a whole lot of love from his fans, friends, and family across the world. He is up 3 spots, working his way up into 7th in the number 27 Ford F-150. Currently chasing Michael Newbraw as well as Chad Ross. And up front, it is still Cody Mccauley with about a 1.8 second advantage over Michael J. Johnson. He does have lap traffic to contend with. I believe that was Christopher Carter that goes a lap down. It was. As you ride on board with Michael J. Johnson, he's about 1.75 seconds back from your race leader, Cody Mccauley, but he's about a half second ahead of Matt Lee, and we know Matt Lee has the speed late in runs to make some big moves, as he's already worked his way up 8 positions in the 04 machine. So after a rough start, to find yourself in podium contention, not a bad night at the racetrack. But he's got about 26 laps left to hold on to and maybe try and pick up another spot if he can catch up to Johnson. Johnson and Lee have put on a whole lot of great racing and great shows in the past. You can also see the front end damage that Lee has on the 04 machine. Not sure how that's going to affect him in the long run here today. The last thing he wants is a race truck that's already prematurely tightened up. Chad Ross, John Mollahan still can't get away from each other as they battle side by side for that 14th place spot. Ross is up 10 spots so far. Mollahan is up about 5 spots from where they started. I've got to say, tonight's clicking off pretty quickly here. The guys are absolutely flying. Lap times definitely reflect that the tires are starting to wear out for these guys. As your race leader Mccauley, his last time by was a 23.26 compared to his session best of a 22 flat. Still trying to catch up a little bit closer to within striking distance of Johnson to see if we're going to have that battle for second here today. Up front, it's still Cody Mccauley clicking him off. The caution comes out, though, with 19 laps left to go. This could shake things up. Who's going to take tires here? It looks like it's going to be Martin involved in the incident. We'll take a quick look, see what happens. We're watching Martin in the number 67 machine. Let's see what happens. Oh! Just gets clipped as well, adding insult to injury. We're going to take a look from a different angle here. We're going to watch closely, see if he gets a little bit loose. He does. He gets loose, checks up, gets tagged by the 62. And then watch this as he tries to get out of the way, just gets sent careening around. And then he's going to take a quick way back to the pit lane. Are we going to see, though? Yes, Mccauley is going to come down pit lane, as well as pretty much everybody, it appears, in the top 10. And let's see if anybody is going to be gutsy and only take 2 tires here to try and get a little bit more track position. If I was a betting man, I think most of your drivers inside the top 10 are going to take 4 fresh Goodyears. It'll be interesting to see which drivers also take gas, just so they're more familiar with how the truck handles at that speed. Mccauley is in and out in 14.68 seconds. I don't see anybody inside the top 10 except Chad Ross, who may have taken 2 tires. Ross was in and out of his box in 9.85 seconds. That's going to be good enough to work his way up into 8th coming out of the pits. And while we are here, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action. And we are back, just ready for possibly the final restart of the night. But as always, thank you to FEGPC.net, tonight's title sponsor. If you're looking for a custom-built desktop solution for your sim enthusiast needs, they can get you hooked up. Be it iRacing, Microsoft Flight Sim, or any other intense program that you're going to run, check them out at FEGPC.net, as well as check them out on the iRacing Yard Sale group, the Fleet Swap group. They've got just about everything you can need, custom computers, wheels, you name it, they've got it. But here we go, it's going to be Mccauley and Johnson out front. 14 laps left to go, the final shootout. All of these guys are on 4 fresh tires, except for Chad Ross inside the top 10, who's going to work his way back very quickly to 10th. If there was ever a time to lick the stamp and send it, and they do. Cale Seaman goes for a ride, hits the inside wall hard. It was Seaman, Ross, and I'm not quite sure who the number 9 is. That's Brad Bothwell going 3 wide. Just not a lot of room to make anything happen, and an absolute hard hit. Jay Dargert narrowly gets through. That's tough. With 12 laps left to go, I mean, you've got to push it, and unfortunately, some of these guys are just having to risk it. So this is about to be one spectacular shootout. Number 27, Tyler Millette, still getting a whole lot of love. Millette's worked his way up to 16th tonight. And most importantly, he's managed to stay uninvolved in a lot of the carnage we saw. Which for some of the guys having to go back to the hauler with some beat up race trucks, that's a pretty big accomplishment in and of itself. And once again, I'd like to sincerely thank everybody that tuned in tonight. It's very good to be back after recovering from COVID with all here of my FEG PC family, and just good to be back here with all these guys and watch some great racing across the board. I believe it's going to be 8 laps to go once they cross the line for the final time, for possibly the final shootout. No, I think it's going to be 7 laps to go. It's just now they're getting formed up double file. Let's see what happens here. Still time for one more good old-fashioned pile up at Richmond. Pace car is in. Away goes Cody Mccauley. Looks like everybody made it into turn 1 clean at least. Mccauley with a great launch, but look at this. Matt Lee has picked up 2nd spot here today from Michael J. Johnson. Behind Johnson, you've got Ouellette and Reedy battling hard as well. Somebody gives the wall a little bit of love there. I believe that may have been Reedy in the number 11 machine. That's going to allow Ouellette to peek his nose up the inside. And then we see something happening back behind us. And the caution does come out. I know Michael Newbraw involved in an incident. We'll take a quick look at that one. New bra number 6 machine. Ooh, an absolutely hard hit in the number 6. Does the right thing, though, locks up the brakes, avoids getting into anybody else, so no more harm or foul, but this is going to put us into green-white checker conditions. Now, that last time by, Mccauley actually clicked off the fastest lap of the race once more with a 22:04. And we'll take a look at your running order so you can see where your favorite driver's at as we're waving the caution for the 6th time here today at Richmond Raceway. So this is going to put us into green-white checker conditions. It's going to be Mccauley and Lee on your front row, Johnson and Aridi your second row, and then Ouellette and Radke your third row here today. And there are 2 green-white checker attempts here. So this will be the first of 2 attempts to get to the end under green flag conditions. If they make it to the white flag lap, then this race will be marked completed no matter what happens out on track. Now, Mccauley's been getting great launches all night long. This is the first time Matt Lee's been on the front row as well to contend. Pace car is in. Mccauley with another great launch. And look at this, Michael J. Johnson's going to go back to the inside of Matt Lee to try and take back over second place. Lee's going to try and carry as much speed as he can on the outside line, staying in tow with Mccauley. It's Mccauley out front, Michael J. Johnson, Matt Lee battling side by side. The white flag is out. Who's it going to be here for the final battle as they are still side by side? Ooh, they're getting wild behind them, but this is the battle for second out on track right now. Johnson's still on the inside, Lee on the high side. It looks like it's going to be Johnson. And it is. It's Cody Mccauley, your race leader. Michael J. Johnson second, Lee third, Reedy fourth, Radke fifth. An absolute great run from our competitors here today. And Cody Mccauley with a well-deserved win is going to burn it down in the number 62 Toyota. And it is Toyota going 1, 2, and 3 here today. Absolute great race from our competitors from start to finish. Joining us in the booth first tonight is Matt Lee in the 04 machine, able to pull home a third. Matt, I mean, great race there at the end, especially between you and Michael. Were you a little bummed to see that caution come out while you're in second place and knowing you're going to start in the high side, or what was your thoughts when that yellow flag finally came out?
Yeah, when I got that start on the bottom to clear Michael there for second, I knew it was going to be pretty tough to restart there from the outside and make a good run at Cody. He was setting one hell of a pace tonight, so.
Now, what do you think makes Richmond so tough for some of the guys? Is it the goofy tire wear that we've seen in the past, or what do you think makes it a little bit tricky for some of the guys out there?
I think the biggest thing is like it got really hard to pass with old tires, and if guys in the back, were getting impatient possibly with other guys, I kind of qualified bad, so I had to work my way up through the field, and that was something I really experienced with dirty air and stuff. Like, I was faster than the guys in front of me. It's just I couldn't make a pass on it regardless of what I was trying to do. So it's kind of just you had to wait to get fresh tires on it to make a move. And so fresh tires, getting all you could on fresh tires was pretty important.
Seemed like it went relatively well for you. I mean, did tonight go better for you than expected after that rough qualifying, or are you just kind of happy to be up here in the podium after having that rough start?
Yeah, after I seen the way the race played out and stuff, couldn't really run the strategy that I wanted to. Yeah, definitely good to get up here at the podium. It really wasn't easy to pass on old tires, so to get up here wasn't easy.
Well, Matt, always a great time talking to you, my friend. Always a good time having you in the booth. Before I let you sign off, who would you like to give thanks to that's cheering you on from out there in the grandstands?
Yeah, I gotta really thank Scott Martin and everything he does for me over at Martin Sports and all the gloves that they make and racing jerseys for us, and the guys at CGE, Shenandoah Shine, Mccauley Setup Shop, and you guys putting on this race for us.
Well, Matt, always a great time, man. Hope to see you do well next week, and thank you again.
Thanks, James.
That was Matt Lee finishing third tonight, but now we've got Michael J. Johnson, the number 39 machine, able to bring home a second after quite the battle there. I mean, are you pretty happy where you finished at tonight, Michael?
Yeah, second's about as good as we could get, unless I wanted to use Cody up, and I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, a lot of the same the regular names and faces we see up on the podium week in and week out. It's just you guys always shuffle around. Is that with some of you guys being more comfortable at other tracks, or what is it that makes you guys race so tight week in and week out?
Yeah, I just get comfortable racing up front with the same guys, so it makes that's a lot of fun when it's like that, and it's easier to race around guys because you know what to expect.
Well, Michael, you started off second tonight. You ended in second. Is there anything you could do going back to maybe change a strategy, or is that just everything you had in the tank of the number 39 and a second place is pretty darn good?
Yeah, that's really about all I could do. That last run we had before that string of cautions at the end, I was taking it easy, kind of hoping we may get a late one there with a few laps to go. My tires would be a little bit better, but that didn't hardly work out.
Excuse me. Sorry, Michael, I'm over here struggling, my friend. Now, how are you feeling going into next week? I know the segment's kind of fresh here. I believe next week we go to correct me if I'm wrong, is it Las Vegas and Bristol we're going to next week?
We're going to Bristol and Talladega, so we're probably going to tear a lot of stuff up.
Well, no, you're right. I mean, one's a real tight short track at the Coliseum, and the other is the Super Speedway. Is there either one of those tracks you're more apprehensive about going to?
No, not really. Bristol's one of my favorite tracks, and then especially with I got some grip updates for Bristol on this season, so it's a lot more fun to run.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know the fans are at home as well. Michael, before I let you sign off and enjoy the rest of the week, who would you like to give thanks to that's helping you cheer on the number 39 machine and making you so fast week in and week out?
Yeah, we got Mccauley Setup Shop. They've come on board to help us out this season, and then all the guys at Keeping It Real Esports.
Well, Michael, always a great time, man. A pleasure talking to you, and hope to see you do well next week at Bristol as well as Talladega.
Thank you, sir.
And up next, the man of the hour, Cody Mccauley, the number 62 machine, put it on the top spot of the podium. Cody, it seemed like it was your race, and you had a pretty just good run out front, not having too many worries there today.
Yeah, man, we had an absolute rocket ship tonight. Track position was really key, so being fast in qualifying really made tonight easy. A lot of fun. The restarts were really, really, really important. It made for really good racing. Michael kept me on my toes every restart. We kept having to try to move things around and do things different. Was kind of looking like a fuel mileage race there until we started getting all the cautions. But over and all, for Richmond with almost 30 trucks, you can't really complain. I don't think we had but 3 or 4. So just a good night, man. We had a really good car. We were consistent. Yeah, there's not much more you can ask out of a team for tonight. Like a night like that. Just like I said, played our cards right whenever it counted and come out with a win.
Now, Cody, being able to run up front, having about that 1 second advantage over the rest of the field at most time until the cautions brought you back together, how important was that clean air for you to go out there, hit those marks, and not have to worry about the truck getting aero tight throughout the run?
It was really important. The truck wasn't that bad behind somebody. It was more or less just trying to really keep your line. If you're in second, you're kind of playing the fastest pace. So we could run, 2-3 laps really hard the first of the run, get about a second lead, and then back off to about 80-85%. And that backing off to 80-85%, you kind of level your margin. And then after 10 laps, whenever the guy behind you is pushing 100%, next thing you know, you're 2-3 seconds ahead. So like I said, we were fortunate to have really good track position, and I think that's really what won us the race tonight.
Well, you did a great job start to finish, man. Tonight was yours at Richmond. You're walking away in the top spot. Now, how do you feel going into Bristol and Talladega next week? Are those tracks you're comfortable at, or what's the general sentiment going into next week?
Well, first short track down, and we take home a win. And then Daytona, we pushed our teammate to a win and ended up finishing 1-2. So you got to have some confidence going into something like that. I know Bristol's a lot different animal, but kind of the general mindset going in, track position's key. So we'll take everything that we learned tonight, go to Bristol, and hopefully walk away with another win, and then take our chances at Talladega, see if we can miss the big one.
Well, Cody, always a pleasure, man. Great job as well. It's good seeing you up on the podium so often. Before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout-out to? Maybe thanks, friends, family, sponsors. The floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, man, big shout-out Delta 9 PA. You guys check them out on Instagram. They offer great services, man. Just hit them up. They'll take care of all your needs. 62 Designs. 62 Designs is big for us. We do all our own paint schemes. You guys see this truck. It's sharp as all get out. We got 4 or 5 in the field that are just like it. Just really, really good-looking trucks. We'll do anything that you need, road course stuff, dirt stuff, anything. Just holler at us. Big shout-out to 62 Designs Racing. All the guys over there really helped us practice. We've been practicing a lot at Richmond. Wanted to come away with a big win here, try to get some early momentum in the points. Super big shout out to Carl Thompson on the spotters box tonight, kind of working the crew chief role. He did a phenomenal job calling this race. So just proud of the whole team, proud of our sponsors. Want to keep winning for them.
Well, looking forward to that continued success, my friend. We again thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the evening. And congratulations on another great win tonight here at Richmond.
Thank you, bud.
And that was your race winner, Cody Mccauley, bringing it home on the top spot. A great run from all of our competitors. Great racing. A few cautions thrown in the mix just to keep it fresh and exciting. But all in all, a fantastic evening amongst friends here at the FEG PC.net Truck Series. As always, on behalf of FEG PC.net, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East, thanking you all so much for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.